Welcome to Badminton Unlimited, your weekly access to badminton and beyond. This week, we sit down with England's World and European para-badminton champion, Rachel Choong, as she tells us about the highs of being the best. And we find out more about the BEC Centre of Excellence, Badminton Europe's latest high-performance development project. She's the reigning triple gold medal world champion and, more recently, a double crown European champion. Rachel Choong is England's #1 para-badminton player and one of the world's best on the circuit. The Liverpool shuttler got her first taste of badminton at a local club, and for Rachel, it was love at first sight.
My sister, she started going casually to this badminton club, a local badminton club, where she was receiving coaching. And just one Saturday morning, she said, "Oh, why don't you come down?" And yeah, fell in love with it straight away. Then when I think about it, it seemed so simple, which I think is what I really enjoyed from it. And with my condition being short stature, I knew that I didn't feel at too much of a disadvantage then.
Badminton Unlimited caught up with Rachel when she was in the Netherlands for the recent European Para-Badminton Championships. She spoke passionately about the sport that first captured her heart when she was just 6 years old.
I started playing in local league matches as a junior. From then, I got asked to represent my county, Lancashire, and for me that was a big surprise because I wasn't aware of para-badminton at the time, but I knew that I was of short stature, so I was very surprised that I was still able to keep up with the same level as the able-bodied junior players, so that was really nice for me. And then from there, I got introduced to para-badminton.
Rachel started competing on the para-badminton circuit in 2007, and the short stature player recorded her first international win a year later. At the 2008 European Para-Badminton Championships, the then 14-year-old claimed gold in women's singles and mixed doubles. And since then, Rachel has continued to rack up the accolades. She went on to repeat her European feat in 2012, and in 2013 at the BWF Para-Badminton World Championships, where the short stature category was first featured, Rachel nabbed the women's solo and the mixed doubles gold. Last year, she wrote her name in the history books by becoming the first English player to scoop 3 golds at the Para-Badminton World Championships. With the tournament held in England, her record-setting moment in 2015 was all the sweeter.
At the World Championships that I attended 2 years before in Dortmund, only my mother was able to come with me, but for the last World Championships in 2015, I had my family there. I had my aunt, uncle, mum, dad, sister. The whole family was there, and it was so nice to see them. And I would say there was a little bit of pressure on me to try and achieve the same goals as I'd set back in Germany. So when I was able to win the 3 titles, it was very overwhelming and quite emotional. And I hadn't actually realised that I'd made English history doing so until after the tournament. So yeah, it was an incredible week, the best week of my life so far, and I hope to never forget it.
Awarded the 2016 UK Sport Inspirational Performance of the Year, Rachel is determined to continue on her path of success. She extended her winning ways at the European Para-Badminton Championships held in the Netherlands this year. The right-hander defended the titles she won in the solo and mixed disciplines, and she also came up tops in a women's doubles exhibition match.
It's also the second most prestigious tournament we can currently compete in, so it is a very important tournament for us. Again, just because of the prestigiousness of this tournament and the level that it is, it's a title that many people would strive for.
Her achievements are nothing short of amazing, and what's truly impressive is that Rachel is not a full-time athlete, something she hopes to be able to be in the future.
Ever since I realised how much I loved badminton, I always had a hope that I could make it into a career. I would love to make it into a full-time career because at the moment we have to have a job on the side so we're able to fund our tournaments. So if I could make para-badminton into a full-time career, that would be amazing. But I love looking at the calendar for the year and saying what tournaments that I'd really like to go to. I do thoroughly enjoy my badminton career right now.
And with para-badminton making its debut at the Paralympic Games at Tokyo 2020, this is one date Rachel is looking forward to on the calendar.
As soon as I was made aware of para-badminton and began competing, that was it. That was the dream, to go to the Paralympics. And I remember when we put in our bids for 2012 and 2016 and how disappointed I was, but now that it is in to Tokyo 2020, so yeah, I really do hope and pray that I'll be able to go and win a medal at Tokyo. Given how emotional I was at the World Championships last year, I dread what would happen if I won something at the Paralympics. Tears everywhere probably. Because you watch the Olympics and Paralympics on TV and you see the atmosphere and how electric it is, and I think just to experience that or to attend, it would just be phenomenal.
Determined, resolute, and an inspirational figure in badminton, Rachel Choong is a role model and a winner in more ways than one. And it is, without doubt, that come 2020, England will be proud to have their European and world champion leading the way.
I actually keep it under my bed at the moment. I am hoping to move it to somewhere more secure, but at the moment I just keep it under my bed because I need a lot of access to it at the moment.
I'm going to have to keep that secret, just in case anyone comes to try and steal it.
I genuinely don't think I've got any famous, like Chris is probably the most famous person I've got in my phone book, genuinely.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It probably is Marcus or Raj Youssef. I mean, that's as famous as we know.
I'd say, well, most people in the badminton community know that Chris is notoriously late for almost everything, whether it's a match or a bus or whatever. You know, you can guarantee he'll always be just on time or late.
Yeah, that's true. I think the only thing I think of for Marcus is he maybe has slightly smelly shoes. And that's it.
Time to test your badminton knowledge. In this week's trivia, we want you to name the only men's singles player to win consecutive Olympic gold medals. We'll reveal the answer after the break. When we return, Danish ace Victor Axelsen gives us some quick bites about learning the Chinese language. Before the break, we asked you to name the only men's singles player to win consecutive Olympic gold medals. The answer is Lin Dan. The Chinese shuttler is well known for his remarkable achievements on the big stage. In the 2008 Beijing Olympics, he defeated Malaysia's Lee Chong Wei to clinch his Olympic gold. 4 years later in London, the duo met again in the final. And despite a strong start from the Malaysian ace, it was not enough to halt the Chinese. Lin Dan claimed his second gold at the Games and made history by becoming the first men's singles player to win 2 consecutive gold medals at the Olympics. With 2016 quickly coming to a close, there was just enough time for one last showcase of world-class badminton, the Dubai World Superseries finals. The year's top-performing 8 singles players and doubles players from the MetLife BWF World Superseries battled hard in Dubai for 4 days to earn their rightful spot on finals day. Top of the order of play was women's doubles, and fans at the Hamdan Sports Complex welcomed the exciting young Chinese pair Chen Qingchen and Jia Yifan, who took to the court to face Olympic champions Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi. Game 1 began with a tussle for early dominance, but it was Chen and Jia who eventually broke away with a comfortable lead and sealed the opener 21-15. 2013 winners Matsutomo and Takahashi were much better after the changeover, finding their winning rhythm to even the scores at 1 apiece. The third game had both pairs battling hard for each point, and the scores were evenly matched until the momentum swung China's way. Chen and Jia showed great determination and surged ahead to bring home their third title of the year. Final score 21-15, 13-21, 21-17.
We kept on fighting, especially in the third game. We fought for every point and did not give up until we won.
I'm going to treat the team to dinner, as the coaches and our seniors have supported and believed in us throughout the competition.
The men's solo event followed next, and it saw a contest between Chinese shuttler Tian Hou-wei and Danish sensation Victor Axelsen. Olympic bronze medalist Axelsen got the start he wanted after clinching the first game 21-14. The lanky Dane, however, crumbled in the next game as Tian crushed his challenge 21-6 to force the match to a decider. The Chinese world number 7 started brightly in the final game, but could not hold off a resurgent Axelsen. With the scores at 16-all, Axelsen powered home to clinch his first Dubai World Superseries crown. The final score read 21-14, 6-21, 21-17.
Yeah, of course, I'm really happy that I came out the strongest in the end, but it wasn't beautiful, but it was enough from my side. I was especially nervous in the third set, and then in the end I just said, don't act like a crybaby and just play the shuttle over the net as much as you can, and that was enough in the end.
Eyeing the women's singles crown was Chinese Taipei trickster Tai Tzu-ying, and standing in her way was Korea's Song Ji-hyun. A winner here in 2014, Tai was on her way to replicate that form when she took the first game without any real trouble from her opponent. World number 5 Song was finding it hard to impose herself, and her struggles continued to show in the ensuing game. But take nothing away from Tai's confident display. The world number 1 calmly navigated her way to 21 to secure the title in straight games. 21-14, 21-13 the final score.
I think Song was a little slow on court today, probably due to the fatigue from a semi-final match. It was a thrilling final, so it was a very satisfying victory.
Last year's mixed doubles champions, England's husband and wife pair, Chris and Gabriel Adcock, were looking to defend their title against up-and-coming tandem from China, Zheng Siwei and Chen Qingchen. Having never beaten the Chinese duo before, this matchup proved to be tricky for the Adcocks as they struggled to keep pace with Zheng and Chen. The English duo tried to regroup for the second game, but with Zheng and Chen turning in an inspired performance, the Adcocks found themselves lagging behind again. After 30 minutes of play, the Chinese world number 3 partnership walked away victorious. 21-12, 21-12 the final score.
My 2 matches were really exciting, and I thank both my doubles partners for playing so well. No matter how tired I was feeling, I was determined to give my best to win.
Wrapping up the day was the men's doubles final. Malaysia's silver medal winners at the Rio Olympics, Goh Wee Shem and Tan Wee Keong, were hoping for a winning end to a remarkable year against Japan's top pairing of Takeshi Kamura and Keigo Sonoda. The first game started with much excitement as both pairs were eager to gain the upper hand. And it was Goh and Tan who succeeded, pulling away midway to go 1-0 up. Ranked 5th in the world, Kamura and Sonoda did well to keep pace with their opponents in the following game, but at 19-19, their composure escaped them. Goh and Tan pounced on the next 2 points to seal their first ever triumph at the Hamdan Sports Complex. The final score read 21-14, 21-19.
It's a little bit like unbelievable. and finally we achieved our target, especially in year 2016. It's an amazing year for us, and it's good memory.
It means everything for us because we have to be world number one. We have to do everything the best. Yeah.
在奥运会拿得铜牌，让我非常开心。所以之后我觉得呢，我希望我在2016年还可以取得好成绩。
When I first started learning and my Chinese speaking abilities wasn't that good, you know, it was a bit hard for me to start the conversations, and you also have to be quite brave because when you're speaking Chinese, you're on their home court and you really have to think hard about what sentences to use.
你已经看到了明天的比赛出来了吗？
对啊，我们都是10点半。
好，所以我觉得我。
But I think that as I've become better and better, I can now start to talk more and more to the players. And you can't afford to be too shy. If you want to learn a language, you have to speak out loud. And that's really the kind of take I have on this this Chinese thing. I want to speak with everyone I can, and I want to make new friends. And the Chinese language enables me to, you know, to speak to a lot of different personalities, and I really like that. Right now I have a private teacher who I have online classes with, but I started around 2 years ago, and I just started out with a private teacher in Copenhagen and doing some self-learning on the internet and stuff like that. But now I have come in contact with a school called Hanning Schwerxiao in Beijing, whom I talk to online and have an online classroom where we study. So actually when I'm in Denmark, I'm having classes every day, and it's really beneficial for me, and I think this way of learning is really good. But it requires a lot of hard work, and every time I've had a class, I also spend some time on my homework, so it's a good education. I know that badminton is a really big sport in China, and China has a really strong history badminton-wise. So I hope that some sponsors or things like that maybe work in the future. My Chinese will have some benefits on that point, and also I respect the Chinese a lot, and I think that the European also can learn a lot from them. So, you know, I respect the country and respect the language, so I thought it would be really interesting to learn it. I now have a much better relationship with the Chinese players. I can speak a bit more with them. I can get an insight into their lives, and I think that's really interesting and something that I really look forward to when I'm coming out to tournaments, to speak to some of the other Chinese players and from different countries as well, because I make new friends and I can practice my Mandarin, so for me it's win-win.
After the break, we find out more about Badminton Europe's new development project, the BEC Centre of Excellence. Visit our YouTube channel, badmintonworld.tv. There are tournament highlights, plays of the day, as well as past matches to savour. Every episode of Badminton Unlimited is also available for your viewing pleasure. All the best badminton clips are just a click away. In Europe, badminton is enjoying success in countries like Denmark, England, Spain and France. While the sport is fast-growing in other parts of Europe, the infrastructure in countries where badminton is less established is at best modest. And if European players are to better challenge on the world stage, there is a need to raise the standards across the region.
We've noticed for a while that there's quite a polarization of the medals in world badminton. So Asia are really dominant. They're winning a lot of medals on elite level. We're talking about 90% medals are going to Asian players. And Europe is really the continent that can also produce medals, but not enough. So we have for a long time been looking at how can we assist our European players in performing better.
The sport's European governing body, Badminton Europe, is embarking on a new and exciting development initiative to further support and improve the high performance level in the region. The BEC Centre of Excellence is set to open its doors in September next year, and Badminton Unlimited dropped in at a pre-selection camp held earlier this month in Vejen, Denmark, to find out more about their latest development project.
Well, we have quite a lot of talented players in Europe, and not every federation has a good high-performance setup. So the idea is to give these players that are lacking a high-performance training a center where they can practice whole year round and improve themselves. Because at the moment, most of these players are depending on going to other federations where they're mainly used as sparring partners and don't get all the attention that they need. So we hope that with building up this center, we give them the attention that they need and bring them up to the level that they can.
From the entries received, 35 players were selected to attend the camp, and many, like 20-year-old Armenian shuttler Lilik Pokishan, were thrilled about the establishment of a European high-performance training center.
I waited for this kind of opportunity for the time I started to play badminton competitively, because in Armenia we don't have players to play with and to become stronger. We only have players 12 to 13 years old, and I'm training with them. And I know that I can't reach my goal in these conditions. Joining the Centre of Excellence can be a great opportunity for me to reach my goal.
I thought it was a really good idea because I think in Europe there's not a lot of places where players can train full time, especially in countries where they maybe don't have a national centre, or there's players who can't quite get into the national team. So I know, for example, in England it's very tough for some guys who can't get in the national team to get good full-time training, so I think it's a good idea.
The objective of the centre is not solely aimed at players. Badminton Europe is also looking at raising the standards of coaching.
One of them is also the education of coaches. So we're going to bring in coaches. As the model is going to be now, there will be a head coach and 2 assistant coaches. So it is also a good goal for us if those coaches in the future can work for other federations. And then we like to bring the players up to a very good level of the standard that they can be.
What is more important for me is that we have a really open and inclusive center here, where we actually allow coaches to come in, also from other federations, and learn and be part of it. We actually want to create links out to the training centers that already exist within the member associations. And we want to bring coaches in to learn about the culture that we have in the European Training Center, so that they maybe understand what does it take actually to train there, how could they prepare their players if they eventually would like to go there.
Besides player selections and setting up a good coaching team, Badminton Europe is also in the process of finding a suitable location for the centre.
We have had a lot of interest, much more than we anticipated. So we had 10 cities applying for the training center. So we are basically looking now at the quality that they can offer in terms of the sports hall, in terms of the accommodation, in terms of all the things that's happening around. But we're also looking at the price level, and we need to make sure that we have a good match on all levels. It doesn't help us to have a fantastic facility if it's too expensive for the players to attend. At the same time, we want to create a center that has everything and that is up to the highest standard.
We hopefully have, at the end of January, we know where the center is going to be. Then we're going to do the 2 training selection camps where the center is going to be. And hopefully at the end of May we will have the whole group complete. I guess May, June. So we have then 3 more months to prepare for the start in September.
Exciting times lie ahead for Badminton Europe's Centre of Excellence. And it's their hope that with the success of the new initiative, they can help raise the general high-performance environment in Europe. Before we go, let's see what the international circuit looks like as we check the Badminton Unlimited calendar. Next week on Badminton Unlimited, we relive the drama and joys of the top events in 2016. See you next week.